Hey polish fans, it's Caroline again and welcome to another video here at Wild Woodlacker. In today's video I have another kind of mystery haul. This time I did know exactly which polishes I was getting, but I got these through an unusual source. I found these on Facebook Marketplace and these were actually being sold fairly locally to me. They were over in Tacoma, so not that far of a drive, and I was able to meet up with that seller and pick some of these out. She did have quite a lot more at the beginning, but unfortunately by the time I was able to meet up with her, a lot of them had been given away to family members, but I would have loved to see her entire collection that was being sold. When I met up with her, she told me that a co-worker had given her quite a lot of polish and she was a bit overwhelmed, so she was selling a lot of the polishes that she had gotten for $3 a bottle. She had already gone through and picked out ones that she wanted to keep, and I was thrilled to see a bunch of indie polishes. You don't see that very often in that sort of a format. Most of the time what I'm seeing on Facebook Marketplace is mainstream polishes like Essie, Orly's, and OPI's. So I was thrilled to pieces to be able to find some amazing indie polishes, all of which I did not own. So let's go ahead and see what I have. I have them all swatched over here on a little wheel here, and we're going to see how they all look. The first one is from a brand that you guys know I've heard of before. They were one of the first brands that I was introduced to as an indie, and this one is I Love Nail Polish, or ILNP, and this one is Wanderlust. So this is one of their holographic formulas. This one is absolutely gorgeous. It's sort of an orchidy purpley pink color. You have the holographic pigment in there, as well as a shimmer. You can see that little bit of gold popping up there. This one was a bit on the sheerer side. I did need 3 coats to reach what I would call mostly opaque. I think longer nails might need maybe a blurring base coat underneath this one, or a 4th coat to really get yourself opaque. But look at the beautiful hollow on this one. This one has sort of that larger particle, so you're going to get that star effect of the holographic linear line on the nail. It is a beautiful color. I love the tone of this one. It's a little bit on the dark side, but you still get that juicy tone. And just look at the rainbows that you're getting. I think there you can see what I mean about that kind of still sheer look, but depending on your nail length, it might not be a problem. You might still be able to get that fully opaque on your own nails. And this one was one of the polishes that I have on my very long wish list from ILNP, so I was glad to find it in a D-stash. That was ILNP's Wanderlust. The second one is also a similar color from ILNP. This one is called Paige, and this one we're just going to do a side-by-side comparison because they are kind of similar. They have a similar concept behind them. They are a purpley pink in that sort of orchid family. They both have a holographic formula, but they are different holographic formulas. Also, Paige is a little bit lighter. It leans of the two the most pink, and it's kind of hard to tell, but I think Paige also does have that flash of a shimmer component, but I think it is more on the slightly oranger side than the gold that we saw in Wanderlust. So Paige has a really beautiful formula as well. This one I would classify as more of the between 2 to 3 coat polish, depending on your application and your nail length. This one was a bit less of a jelly feel to it than Wanderlust was. Here it is in 3 coats. Like I said, this was one that I could almost have been fine with in just 2, but I decided to go ahead and add a 3rd coat just to see if that would change up the color any. And it's a beautiful tone here. Again, lighter in tone, like I mentioned with the bottle comparisons. You also can see the difference in the holographic particles that were used. The ones in Wanderlust are that larger size. The one in Paige is more of that smaller, finely milled linear flare there. So very different on the nail, which I was pleased to see. Both have a beautiful tone, and I really like the slightly brighter tone that Paige has. So that one was Paige. The next one is from the brand Polish, and this one is called Milky Way. This one came out in the For the Love of Polish for 10 of 22, and this was one that I was really excited to see because I love this color combination. You have this sort of a dusty, almost brown leaning mauve base, and then it is loaded with these blue to purple to pink to green to gold iridescent flakies. This has such a beautiful look in the bottle and on the nail. You can kind of tell that brown leaning, almost red rust base, which is really unique. Here is that one in 3 coats. This one I would also say is somewhere between a 2 to 3 coater. These are all without top coat, so you can see how they dry on their own. But I mean, look at that beautiful flash of those flakies against this unusual base. It is a beautiful tone, and I feel like it's really unique to my collection. It does have one of those combinations though that I really like, any kind of a pinky purple or unusual tone with a blue flash, and it just really captures my attention. And I don't have anything else quite like this in my collection. I think a lot of times the formulas that I have that are in this kind of color combination are often a shimmer against a contrasting base. So really happy with that one. I think that is a beautiful color there. So that one was Polish Milky Way. The next one in kind of rainbow color order is another one from Polish. This one is called Jellyfish Jam. This is another one from the For the Love of Polish box. This one came out in March of 2022. Now this is one that I wasn't initially going to get. Initially what we had started to do was put together a list via messaging. So she was taking pictures of what she had. I gave her an initial list of brands that I was interested in, and Polish was one of them. And this one was not initially in my cut of the ones that I wanted, but when we met up in person, she brought them just in case, and I really liked how this one looked in person. It is a light peachy base, which I don't think is coming across on camera very well, but it is loaded with shimmer. That part is coming across nicely. You can see that gold to green to pink right there, and that's what I wasn't really seeing in the photos initially, but when we met up outdoors I was able to see this in person and see the beautiful shifts in this, and I was really happy to be able to take this one home with me. I will probably be wearing this over a more opaque color because this is a sheer polish. For myself anyways, this kind of color I just don't really like sheer on myself. I maybe will have to try it again, but the last time I did that I immediately took it off. I really didn't like this orangey peachy light shade in a jelly formula on myself, but we'll have to see. Maybe I'll try it again with this one and just see if there's a difference between this one and I believe it was a Zoya that I tried initially in the sheer peach. Here it is on the swatch in 3 coats. Beautiful color here. Again, I love the shimmer in this one. The shifts that it has are really gorgeous. You have almost 2 different kinds of pink that I'm seeing. One's a little bit more purple on the right side of the nail. The other is a bit more of a bright shade of pink. And it does have those shifts to green and gold at extreme angles. I think it's kind of showing up there at the tip of the nail. I'm not sure how prominently that's going to be showing up on camera though, but there you can see what I mean about it still being somewhat sheer. You can still see where my nail lines up underneath the swatch, but definitely one that I was happy to be able to bring home, add to my collection, and play around with. We'll have to see how I end up wearing that one. But that one was Polish Jellyfish Jam. The next one is from Femme Fatale. This one is called Venusville, and this is another really unusual combination. The base of this is kind of a tan leaning orange, and look at all the ingredients in this one. You have a beautiful holographic particle in there. I want to say it's on the small glitter size. Then you have a shimmer that is a pink, and even that shimmer is kind of on the larger side. I think on camera it's coming across as a blue shift. So really beautiful combination in here. I'm also seeing a little bit of gold pop up at the edge of the bottle, which you're seeing pretty prominently across the face of the bottle. So it's possible that that is part of that holographic glitter. But again, really unusual combination here. That base color is really unusual. So here it is in 3 coats. This one is actually kind of a fun neutral with a bunch of other things going on. It is kind of close to my own skin tone, so we'll have to see how I end up wearing this one as well. It's possible that I might want to see how this one looks over another color, maybe a deeper tone, but again, a beautiful and unusual combination. So that was Femme Fatale's Venusville. Now we're getting into a brighter orange with a Moonshine Manny. I was so excited to see a Moonshine Manny offered from her D-stash. This one is called What the Cuss Word. This one came out in the Bob's Thanksgiving collection. I'm not sure what year that would have been, but look at this beautiful juicy orange. It has a jelly formulation and it is absolutely jam-packed full of at least 2 different kinds of iridescent flakies. You can see the larger ones that are popping up as a sort of a golden green. They've got some orange in there, and then you can see a smaller pink flash. Those I would almost classify as a glass fleck shimmer particle. Not quite a flaky, but larger and more irregular than a large particled shimmer. So beautiful combination. I think this one also has potentially like some glitter in there. From certain angles, I'm seeing little flashes that I'm not sure are going to come across on camera, but I love the pink against the orange. There is that pink flash there. It's sort of a purpley pink. Here is that one in 3 coats. This one does have a jelly formula like I mentioned, so longer nail lengths, might need a 4th, or maybe put this over a blurring base coat and do 2 coats. You'd probably end up with a beautiful look that way. You could also use this over in orange cream to get a similar opaque look. But such a beautiful combination. Again, I don't think I have anything quite like this. I am still fairly new to these brighter oranges. My collection at this point has quite a lot of pumpkin and terracotta shades, but not too many in these bright, like orange fruit oranges. So I was really excited to be able to add this to my collection, and again, happy to add a Moonshine Manny. So that was Moonshine Manny, oh what the cuss word. Now we're getting into a couple Pepper Potts polishes. This one is called the Hero, and this is one that I picked out when we met up in person. Look at this unusual color. This combination is another super unusual one. You have this slightly rusty orange jelly base, and then it is filled with a shimmer particle that has like a green to gold flash. There's also some pink and blue that I'm seeing at extreme angles at the edge of the bottle, which I don't think is coming across on camera at all. Maybe you can sort of kind of see a pink start to pop up. And then what's really unusual about this combination are these larger multi-chrome flakies in this mix. Again, such a unique combination. This is definitely outside my comfort zone as far as colors that I would wear, but I wanted to at least give this one a shot. The base of this one was really catching my eye. I loved the rusty, pumpkin-y, interesting tone of it, and I definitely don't have anything quite like this one yet. Here it is in 3 coats. This one does still maintain a squishy formula, so if I want to have this more opaque, I will definitely be putting this over either a cream or a blurring base coat. I might have to play around and see how it looks over different colors of oranges, over maybe a brown, see how that looks, and see which one I like best before I end up doing a Manny with this one. But look how unusual. It is such a beautiful shade of orange in that base, and then you have all of those unusual components contrasting really interestingly with that base. Again, super unique. I don't have anything else even remotely like this, especially in this color. We will see a very similar formula though in another one that I picked up from Pepper Potts here in the next polish, but this one was Pepper Potts the Hero. Next up is that other very similar configuration of a polish, if you will, from Pepper Potts. This one is the Cutie, and this time we have a Prugly Yellow. Now this one might be a big surprise to my regulars because it is a yellow polish, and I'm very particular about my yellows, and this one again is extremely outside my comfort zone as far as colors that I would usually pick up, but this one has such an unusual combination, and in person there are so many interesting shifts in the multi-chrome flakies and in the shimmer. On the overcast day when we met up, it just looked so interesting in the bottle that I had to at least take it home, give it a shot, see how I like it. It might end up being something that I don't really wear as a full Manny, maybe only as an accent nail, but we'll have to play around with it and see. I think on camera mainly the yellow is coming across, but it does have that sort of a prugly green lean to it. Hey baby. So for new viewers, this is Olivia. She is one of my kitties. She is my tiniest, but not my youngest. She is somewhat stunted. We can't really tell if her small size is because she had a harsh first few months. We found her behind a restaurant dumpster when she was about 4 months old. In any case, when you see her, that's Olivia. So here is that Pepper Potts on the nail in 3 coats. This one also still maintains a squishy formula with that jelly base. And again, on the nail, you can see just how unusual of a polish this one is. Again, extremely outside my comfort zone as far as a color, but I thought it was too interesting to pass up, especially for $3 a bottle. I felt like it was worth a shot to take home and play around with. So that one was Pepper Potts the Cutie. Next up is another one that is again outside my comfort zone as far as colors. This one is from Circa Colors, and this one is called Hustle. So this is another one that I was extremely excited to see in a D-stash, especially for $3 a bottle. Circa Colors is one of those higher end boutique brands that is a little bit more on the expensive side from the standard indie bottles. So I was really thrilled to be able to get one for $3. Now I don't remember if Hustle is the one that everyone talks about. There is a particular shade of yellow that I keep hearing things about. I want to say it's the one that comes out in like their yearly collection, which is totally evading me right now about what that one is called, but I'm not sure again if this one is it. But in any case, I was really excited to see a Circa colors and be able to get it for, again, $3 a bottle, which is just unheard of. This one is only in 2 coats. I feel like this is one that could easily be a 1 coater for some people. I mainly only did the 2 coats to see if it would change the color at all, and I don't really think it did too much, so 1 coat might work nicely for shorter nails. Again, this is very much outside my comfort zone. It's somewhere between an electric yellow and a tennis ball greenish yellow, so very unusual. Again, this is one that I'm not too sure I'll be ending up wearing as a full mani, but you never know. The colors like this are kind of interesting. In the bottle, even on a swatch wheel, you can kind of not be that attracted to them, and for some reason on the nails sometimes it just works. I'm not sure what that is all about, but I'm curious to see if I will like this one or not. But again, I had to grab it because it was a Circa color, so that one was Hustle. Next up is another Pepper Potts polish. This one is called Corrugator, and this is one that I did pick out initially when we were doing the photos over Messenger. And this one is a beautiful kind of pastel leaning minty green, and what really caught my eye besides the shade of green is the cute combination of glitters that are in here. You've got metallic and holographic glitters in pinks and light aqua or turquoise. This is another one that I thought would be really, really cute in person. I also think this is a nice one for possibly spring. I like that you've got square glitters as well as the hex, and I want to say possibly even a round glitter in a smaller size. So really unusual combination here. This kind of green is definitely one that I am very drawn to. So I have quite a few in this mint family, but a lot of them are either creams, shimmers, or maybe flakies. So this combination is still pretty unique to my collection. Here's that one in 2 coats. This is another one that I feel like falls somewhere between a 2 and 3 coater. I was happy with it in 2 on my swatch, but I think longer nails might need a 3rd coat to reach full opacity. But there it is. You can see the nice scattering of the glitters across the nail. So that was Pepper Pot Corrugator. The next one is another one from Polish. This one is called Gumdrop Gelato. This one came out in the Christmas in July collection for 2022. This is one of the ones that I had picked out when we were doing the pictures in Messenger, and I really liked, again, this tone of green. It is a beautiful, brighter tone of a mint shade compared to the one from Pepper Potts. You also have a beautiful shimmer component in this one that has shifts to blue across the edge of the bottle there. You can see that sort of a golden green across the face. So really beautiful shifts in here. In person and in different lighting, this one has gorgeous shifts that aren't going to be coming across on camera, but it just depends on the lighting situation. Here's that one in 2 coats. This one I only needed 2 coats for to reach mostly opaque. I don't think too many nail lengths would need a 3rd other than very, very long nails, or if you have a really prominent visible nail line, but I was happy with this one in 2. I love the shimmer in this one against this beautiful tone. Kind of leans towards a mermaidy shade, although it does still have that minty tone to it. So really pretty color there. And again, really happy with the 2 coats that I was able to reach opacity with. So that was Polish's Gumdrop Gelato. Next up is another one from I Love Nail Polish. This one is called Beach House. This is another one that was on my very lengthy wish list from them, so again, very happy to be able to find it in a D-stash. This one I feel like is in a similar formula to Wanderlust. It has a jelly formula, and I did need 3 coats to reach full opacity. You've got that beautiful aqua-y turquoise base, and it is again loaded with the larger particle holographic pigment. Here's that one in 3 coats. Again, you can see the larger particle size here and just a beautiful color. This is the kind of color that I have quite a few of in my collection, and I really like the larger particle size that you're seeing in that holographic flame there. Again, a beautiful, beautiful color. So that one was ILNP's Beach House. Next up is another Moonshine Manny and another very unusual color. This one is The Living Usually Don't See the Dead. This one came out in the Beetlejuice collection, and this one is extremely unusual. This one is sort of a pruggly green base, and it is full of a contrasting shifting shimmer. You've got that pinkish red to orange to gold. Then you have a smaller holographic flaky in there. Very, very, very unusual, definitely unique to my collection. This is another one very much outside my comfort zone as far as colors, but I had to get it. It looked so unusual in the bottle, and again, I was very excited to see Moonshine Manny in a D-stash. Here it is in 3 coats. This one does have somewhat of a squishy formula, so I would say if you have longer nails, you might need a blurring base coat, or just wear this over a Pruggly green cream. But look at that shift. Oh my goodness. The contrast in this is just beautiful. The type of green is this really interesting sort of swampy tone, and then you have that very bright red flash to it. I, of course, love the holographic flakies in this. If you've been watching any of my Bees Knees Lacquer hauls, you'll know that I cannot get enough of these holographic flakies. They're one of my favorite things to see in polish. And this, again, is just such an unusual combination. I don't have anything even remotely like this, so I was very happy to at least take this home and give it a try. And I actually think that this is one that I will enjoy on. I think the tone of green is interesting, although I feel like it does lean into that Pruggly realm. So very interesting one, very happy to be able to add this to my collection. That was Moonshine Manny's The Living Usually Won't See the Dead. Next up is another one from Polish. This one is called Blueberry Fizz, and this is one of those ones, again, that I didn't initially pick out when she showed me her polishes over Messenger, but in person, once I saw it, I was really happy with the shifts. It's one of those kinds of colors that I just don't think is going to play very well on camera. It is like a dusty sky blue, and it is full of shimmer that I just don't feel is going to come across on camera. You can kind of see a little bit of a glow at certain angles, but this is definitely a kind of shimmer that looks way, way better in person. It kind of has that ghostly look to it where it's a dusty blue to purple. It's just a beautiful tone on tone to this light sky blue. There's that green. But underneath that green, there's also some flashes of pink, there's some aqua, and a dusty, like iolite, purpley blurple. It is absolutely gorgeous. Here it is in 3 coats. You can see the creamy texture that this one has. This is another one that I feel would fall somewhere between a 2 and 3 coater depending on your application and your nail length. Beautiful shade of blue. It is dustier than I feel like it's coming across on camera. I feel like my phone is trying to make it much brighter than it is in person, but a really nice shade of blue. I feel like this could work nicely for spring or for summer. And again, the shimmer is one that I'm really excited to see out in person. I just don't think my camera is doing this one any justice at all, but very happy with that one as well. So that one was Polish's Blueberry Fizz. And the last one in color order is from ILNP. This one is After Party, another one that was on my wish list from ILNP. So again, very happy to be able to find this in a D-stash. It is a purple and it is hollow. It has the, I want to say, same formula as Wanderlust and Beach House. So you have a squishier formula with the larger size particles of the holographic flakies and a bit of a shimmer as well. This is a gorgeous tone of purple, and of course I love the flakies in this one. Here's that one in 3 coats. This one does maintain a pretty squishy formula, so longer nails would probably need a 4th coat, or maybe wear this over a blurring base coat or just a purple cream. Look at that flare. Such a beautiful hollow. Love this one. So this is another one that I was really excited to be able to add to my collection. That was ILNP's After Party. So there you have it. That was my haul from Facebook Marketplace. Let me know down below which ones were your favorites. If you have any favorites from these brands, definitely let me know about those as well. Also, if you are new to my channel, make sure to hit the little subscribe button down below. That way you don't miss out on any of my new videos. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with me and looking at beautiful polish. I will see you in that next one.